like Socrates' allegory of the cave, is it just a story? Or is it the story? All right, everybody. We back with another reflection on the daily Vedantic at TDV. This reflection, it is on the parallels between something that hit me like a ton of bricks a few years ago, a ton of yellow bricks a few years ago, and I thought it was so beautiful. Such a great metaphor for the Vedantic philosophy that is in plain sight. Vedanta itself, as Swami Ramatirtha once said, open your eyes and the world, the universe teaches you Vedanta. Open your eyes and the universe teaches you Vedanta. In other words, open your eyes and the universe, whether you call it Vedanta, call it source, supreme, whatever you want to call it, law, nature, when we open our eyes, we see the truth. And it's when we close our eyes, squint, look away, blind ourselves, it's when we are stuck in an illusion. And the parallel that I am talking about is between Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz and the philosophy of Vedanta. Now, if you're like me, you watched The Wizard of Oz when you were young, or you saw pieces of it over time, but never sat through the whole thing when you had much of a developed intellect to understand the symbolism within it. It is so sad, these great works, like it could be Alice in Wonderland, it could be The Lion King, it could be reading Shakespeare when you're 15, or reading Dostoevsky when you're 15. And not only are you forced to do it in that which is forced, it's not full of force, but also you just don't have the intellectual capacity to understand what we're really digesting. It's so sad. And then by the time you, actually a great example is even Christ's words or these philosophies, Socrates' words that you hear about in 9th grade, and then you feel like you've heard it 1,000 times by the time you're 26, 27, 28, and you can really properly digest them, that they seem too cliche or too ubiquitous to even waste your time on them. But a perfect example of this is the hidden in plain sight symbolism of one of the most famous movies, most famous narratives of all time, and that is The Wizard of Oz. So I'm just going to talk about The Wizard of Oz for a minute or two, and then I'll let you see if there are any parallels to the Vedantic philosophy, to the universe, to your experience as a human navigating through the universe. And it all starts with feeling lost, taken away from home, feeling lost. And then a few characters come along, and you yourself, being one of them, feel like, all right, we got to go on this long journey to get courage, to get wisdom, a brain. We've got to go on this long journey to get these things that by the end of it, each character realizes they already had within them the whole time. Long, arduous, scary, intimidating journey just to realize that they had it within them all along. There was no wizard on the other side of a big veil with supernatural powers to bestow these things upon these individuals. It was through self-discovery. It was through taking off the blindfolds that they had worn their whole lives to realize they had these things they wanted so desperately all along. The least of which would be Dorothy. This long, arduous journey just to realize that she just needed to click her heels to go home. The feet that would need to take her through this long journey of the yellow brick road, she had that power within her the whole time. the place that she so desperately missed, wanted to get to, loved, felt was a world apart, was just a couple clicks of the heels to get there. Is that a movie? Or is that this experience here that we are all having? Is that a young girl's perspective on life, on the journey to getting to what we want? Or is that the perennial philosophy, as Aldous Huxley called Vedanta? Is it the message we see over and over and over again? So cliche that we don't even realize that it's hidden in plain sight, right in front of us, 3 inches in front of our faces, saying over and over again the same thing. It's not out there. It's not only not in some destination, but there is no destination for what you want, because it is not out there. Like Socrates' allegory of the cave, is it just a story? Or is it the story, told over and over and over again? Dismissed with us choosing an illusion that, nope, that's not what it is. There is a long path we need to take. Some wizard behind a veil that's going to bestow with some supernatural powers what we want, to discover there isn't one. There aren't any. And what we want, we could have had at any time. Is it just an entertaining or provocative story, or is it the story? Is it the truth? It's for each of us to decide. And that is today's reflection on the Daily Vedantic. We'll see you next time.